insane for you.
What's going on, man? Welcome back to the Unrepeated Podcast. It's the host, Jeremy. We're back with another episode. Man, it feels good to be able to say that again. I am very excited to be back. It's been about a month, and I am extremely sorry for the inconvenience. I have just been, as you know, I just started college, so trying to tackle being a freshman in college and a podcast for your uploading 3 times a week has not um, been a easy adjustment to me as I pictured it being ahead of time. But I'm still working on it as I go. I'm also making alterations to my schedule as we speak, so that hopefully this could be a more consistent upload schedule for y'all. Because I don't want to go months in between throughout the calendar year with me um, inconsistently uploading for y'all. So I'm working on it. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me throughout this. I'm not gonna say hard time. It was really hard time, but um, I guess the word I would say would be adjustment period. I guess, but I appreciate y'all bearing with me throughout this time, and continue to. Because this ain't technically over yet. I haven't completely figured it out yet, but you all can expect this is the first of probably a triple header with uploads today of episodes. I don't know. It's gonna be hopefully at least 3, no more than 5. I know I missed about 12 episodes in a row. So I'm trying to tackle a little bit about close to half of that today. If not half, then at least a third of it. So starting with this. So with this episode, I want to cover my 2023 NFL award predictions. Now, this episode was initially planned on September 18th. So obviously, with the season currently about to approach week 5, certain players that I have, I'm going to be giving y'all 3 potential candidates for each, and then who I have to actually win the award. So a lot of people here, you're probably be like, "Oh, of course they're not going to win the award. They had no chance of winning it." Yeah, that's very that's not a far fetched argument, but you have to take in consideration this was almost close to a month ago when I made this. So when I made this, basically, I don't think we were still in preseason. So we haven't even gotten to any real deal football just yet, per se. Um, but let's get it underway and let's get started. So I try to kind of rank this within the like more exciting awards, to not like to not bore y'all coming out of the gate. So first, what we're gonna start off with is the Coach of the Year award. And the first candidate I have from the New York Jets, Robert Saleh. So like I said, this was made preseason, so I had it with the intent of his quarterback being Aaron Rodgers. But as we know that Aaron Rodgers went down with the season-ending Achilles tear, but he still intends on having a return this season. So Robert Saleh is generally viewed as an extraordinary coach because of his one of a kind way of thinking, his initiative style, and capacity to change groups. He centers around making responsibility with self as opposed to constraining responsibility. It is as of now exceptionally focused and headed to perceive that proficient as a proficient competitor. But Saleh is known for laying out a positive culture through special interactions and moving players with his energy and enthusiasm. We can kind of say that he kind of portrays high level of discipline, teamwork, sacrifice, and resiliency as he emphasizes that within his coaching style. And Saleh's capacity to empower protective improvement. I'm sorry, and adjust his method methodology. I'm sorry, methodology. Um, I think the word I was trying to say was methodically, but it's methodology. When required, has added to his prosperity as a lead head coach. Last year, the New York Jets finished with a record of 7-10, which placed them fourth in the AFC East. So let's cover the Jets. Obviously, they banked in on having Zach Wilson out of BYU a couple of years ago in the draft, and they took him with the second overall pick. But obviously, this is like his third or fourth season, and he has just simply not been what they have expected, um, or projected him to be as their potential franchise quarterback, which ultimately led to them picking up, a future Hall of Fame quarterback and multiple time MVP in Aaron Rodgers from the Green Bay Packers. Um, but well, do I still have faith in Zach Wilson? Yeah, I think he definitely has the potential to be a decent quarterback in his league. Maybe not a franchise QB1 quarterback, but could potentially be someone to where as a quarterback too, if your QB1 goes down, you can have somewhat faith in him, like he's kind of taking the role of now, with him being back in that QB1 spot after the tragic injury of Aaron Rodgers. But going back to Salah, I think the way he's been able to rally this defense is pretty phenomenal. I think he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was a defensive coordinator beforehand, of becoming a head coach. So I mean, he prides himself on the defensive side of the ball. That's his strong suit, and it tells with the way this Jets defense has been playing. Guys like obviously Sauce Gardner, Quentin Williams, Makai Becton is the left tackle. Excuse me. Um, DJ Reed. Um, who am I missing? Did I say Quentin Williams? I think I did. But it's just a lot of guys on that defense that are just putting together a great, consistent, consecutive amount of drives to give Zach Wilson more opportunities on the offensive side of the ball. He just hasn't been able to do much with it. So that's just kind of where that lies. So Zach just has to improve himself as an individual to give them a better overall team styled base game. Secondly, in the contention for Coach of the Year, I have Cincinnati Bengals coach Zach Taylor. Um, Zach Taylor has had an exceptional training vocation, which incorporates being the quarterback coach of the LA Rams when they made the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Taylor was named the Cincinnati Bengals head coach in 2019 and has driven the group to their most memorable season finisher when starting around 1990 and a Super Bowl appearance in Super Bowl LBI. Um, he has dominated 5 postseason matches with the Bengals, which is similar to the number of postseason wins the group had in their whole history, before recruiting him. Taylor's training, reasoning, and style has been instrumental in the group's prosperity. He focuses on trust, family, companions, and football in that order. His training vocation started as an alumni partner at Texas A&M, and he has since stood firm on different instructing footholds with groups like the Miami Dolphins and the College of Cincinnati. So this has an overall Cincinnati background. While he may not be held in similar view as a few different coaches just yet, his contribution with the new school of hostile prodigies, has made him a sought after coach. His normal season instructor record is 28 wins, 37 losses, and one tie, and his postseason record is 5-2. Zach Taylor's devotion to his specialty and capacity to lead his group has added to his standing as an extraordinary coach. So the Cincinnati Bengals had a record of 12-4 last season, which placed them first in the AFC North and second in all of the AFC, right behind the Buffalo Bills. So pretty much in any situation what makes a single individual great, a lot of times is what you surround that person with. That can go for a quarterback, receiver, running back, tight end, lineman, any part of football. But that also goes with the coaches. When you put a great coach around a good group of guys, that also elevates the coach as well. And that just goes to show what Zach Taylor has done with this great group of guys. You give him, starting off with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, um, at the time CJ Uzama, but obviously with the Jets now. Joe Mixon, guys on defense like DJ Redder. At the time, Jesse Bates. Just a lot of great guys to kind of elevate him as a coach as well. And so I think he's going to continue to be a great coach. I don't know if he could coach anywhere else. He's in a perfect spot right now with the Bengals, so I hope he stays here. That seems like a perfect fit for not just him, but the system that they run as well. They're in a little bit of a downhill spiral this season. I think it's just simply because what it all boils down to is Joe Burrow's calf injury. I think where he's not as healthy as we may all think, or he may think within himself. And it's not only affecting him, but it's affecting the team and organization as a whole because Joe Burrow is the Cincinnati Bengals. Without Joe Burrow, this is not the same team whatsoever. Um, and I just think that he needs to make sure he's 100% healthy. I'm not exactly who's the backup quarterback behind Joe Burrow, but I know that he's not obviously going to be able to produce in that system as well as Joe Burrow does. And so, because of that, this is going to be ugly for the Bengals. I think they still have a chance to make the playoffs. I think that's definitely still a possibility. Because when you look at the AFC, you think about the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, and I think the Dolphins are on that side as well. If I'm not mistaken. But once you get past that, you know, all things considered, although the Buffalo Bills are great and so are the Miami Dolphins, the team that we've known and it's been proven in the last couple of seasons to give the Kansas City Chiefs a run for their money has been the Cincinnati Bengals. And I don't know that that's just the same team this year because except for Joe Burrow's calf injury. But good news the other day that we did hear him say that after Week 4's game against, oh goodness, I'm not exactly sure who was against, but after the game he said that was the best that he's ever felt um, since entering the calf last season, and so that's a good sign. But so they currently sit at 1-3, and their next game is apparently against the Arizona Cardinals this weekend, and I guess it's in Arizona. But obviously you got to remember that there's no Kyler Murray, so. But Joshua Dobbs has been playing pretty well, so I can't really say that. But I think that's a win for them. Then they have to play my beloved Seattle Seahawks. We got to go to them on the 15th. That would be next week, next Sunday. Um, I hope we win that game. But it's the Bengals, so it's not going to be very easy for us. So you could potentially come in uh, on their home field and get a win. And then you got the 49ers. So they potentially could win their next 2 out of 3. Me being a Seahawks fan, hoping it's just 1 out of 3. Um, but their schedule just along the way looks kind of tough with them having to play the Bills later on. The Texans could be a win. The Ravens could be a win, depending on that receiving core's health. By next week on the 16th, and you have the Steelers, Jaguars, Colts, Vikings, Steelers, Chiefs, Browns. Like those last 5 to 7 games look pretty decent, but they got a tough like 3 4 game stretch here. So we're gonna see what they're made of, man. I believe in Joe Burrow, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. Actually, my second favorite quarterback in the league. I had to go Geno Smith first, then I would go Joe Burrow. Um, yeah, that's what I gotta say about Cincinnati. Now, who I have actually winning the award, Denver Broncos coach Sean Payton. Sean Payton is widely regarded as a great coach due to his offensive prowess and leadership. He has archived and achieved several notable accomplishments throughout his career, including leading the New Orleans Saints to their very first Super Bowl victory during the 2009 postseason. Sean Payton has an extensive coach background, having served in various assistant coaching positions before becoming the head coach of the Saints in 2006. He is known for his old school coaching style and has been recognized as the AP Coach of the Year twice. His coaching success is influenced by various factors, including the team's roster, player performance, and overall organizational support. Let's get into why I chose Sean Payton, man. I was even know that Sean Payton's one of the greatest coaches of all time. Um, Obviously, he's most known for his tenure of being the coach of the New Orleans Saints, behind Hall of Fame quarterback Drew Brees. But now he's being invited to the Denver Broncos to save Broncos country. We know that last season, the Denver Broncos were extremely horrible, finishing with a record, I believe, of about, yeah. So they finished with a record of about 5-12. And obviously, Russ, my favorite quarterback ever, kept it a buck. He kept it real the whole season. Was still screaming Broncos country, let's ride. And let's just say that Broncos didn't even saddle up. They did not even saddle up. That was just a horrible, horrendous season for my quarterback, man. Uh, but I think now with Nathaniel Hackett finally getting out of Denver and bringing in Sean Payton, his team has a great chance to actually give their fans something to talk about. But now they've started off with a record of 1-3. Obviously, with that horrendous comeback that they let happen a few weeks ago. Um, I'm sorry, they were actually the one on the winning side of the comeback. I'm sorry, I guess the Bears came back from 28-7 and ultimately won the game. But they also were the team to let the Dolphins spank them 70-20. Um, and have also lost to the Commanders and Raiders by 1 and 2 points. So like they're coming close, but they're just not finishing the job. Their next 5 games consist of the Jets, Chiefs, Packers, Chiefs again, and Bills. And to be honest with y'all, I don't think they're gonna win any of those games. They're more likely gonna go 0-5 in that span. The best they get within that span is 2-3 with some hard fought out wins with the Jets and Packers, but I more than likely expect them to go 0-5. Or maybe 1-4. Maybe they go still one from the Jets, but I don't think it's that possible. But yeah, y'all, I think it's Sean Payton's going to get this coach of the year. If looking at it now, as we are about to approach week 5, would I change this pick? No, because there are 18 weeks in NFL season, meaning that they would have like 13 more games left before everything is all said and done. But I honestly don't know who I would go against. Maybe you could go with Mike McDaniel or Kyle Shanahan with the way that the Dolphins and 49ers have been playing. But I'm going to go Sean Payton with this one. All right, so now I would like to transition into the next award here, which is going to be the Defensive Rookie of the Year. All right. This was a bit of a tough candidacy to put together because I really wasn't sure of who was, you know, a viable option to put here. But I put together three guys that I believe are potential candidates. Firstly, being from the Philadelphia Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter, somebody who I wish the Seahawks had gotten, but I am very, very happy with the week that he just put up, the rookie that we got in Devin Witherspoon. So I'm not mad at it at all. But throughout about 14 games in his NFL vocation, Jalen Carter has been similarly, essentially as problematic as the Eagles expected when they climbed to the draft, to draft him with the 9 overall pick this spring. He, as of now, has 11 um, complete tensions, the vast majority of any inside protective tackle in the NFL throughout about 14 days. Carter, who is 22, likewise has a sack, a QB hit, 2 or 3 handles for misfortune. He played college football at Georgia, where he was a consistent All American in 2022 and a double cross CFP public national champion. Carter has been performing outstandingly well in his rookie season, and some even think that of him as the best defensive rookie in all of the NFL. Carter's ability and flexibility have been on full presentation, and he has been causing devastation for restricting quarterbacks. Carter has some expertise in the pass rush, run guard, and has an outstandingly high pass rush win rate. So as we get further down this list, I was kind of working on this episode for quite some time now. So I think the guys that are toward the bottom stats are going to be after week 4, but I think that the first 3 or 4 awards will be consistent of guys' stats prior to week 4. So in this case, starting off with Jalen Carter, his 2022, 2023. I'm sorry, 2023, 2024 stats. Prior to week 4, he has 3 total tackles, and 1 sack, 1 stuff for 2 stuff yards. So Jalen Carter looks really nice, y'all. Obviously we can pretty much dedicate the um Philadelphia Eagles defense to just Georgia because it's a bunch of guys over there from Georgia. You have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. Who am I missing? I know I'm missing a lot of guys, but Jalen Carter more specifically looks really, really good. And I think now you put him beside Fletcher Cox. This looks scary. Um, you got one guy as a rookie playing this well, and to have a veteran like Fletcher Cox alongside him to kind of show him the way and be a great mentor to him could be a very scary defensive tackle duo. So I think the Eagles' defense is only bound to get better and better as time goes on. But as I was just speaking about with that pick that we had earlier this year in the draft that we didn't get Jalen Carter, with my second candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year, as y'all saw him with the great performance that he just had against the New York Giants, giving Daniel Jones a heck of a run for his money, that night from the Seattle Seahawks cornerback Devin Witherspoon. Devin Witherspoon has been a critical piece to the Seahawks' defense in 2023 with 5 tackles and 1 pass defended in 1 game. He played school football at Illinois, where he was named the 2022 Tatum Woodson Defensive Back of the Year. Witherspoon was chosen by the Seahawks with the fifth overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. He went to Pine Woodland Secondary School in Pensacola, Florida, where he at first centered around basketball prior to beginning to play football in his junior year. As a senior in 2018, he was named the Pensacola News Diary Defensive Player of the Year, subsequent to recording 74 handles, 7 captures, and 2 touchdowns. Witherspoon resolved to play school football at the College of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. During his high school, during his school profession with the Illinois Fighting Illini, Witherspoon made huge commitments. He was the main genuine green bean to begin and defended for the group in 2019 and played in each game, making 33 tackles. In 2020, he recorded 33 handles and 2 captures as a sophomore. In his junior year in 2021, he played and started 10 games, wrapping up with 52 handles and 1 sack. Witherspoon got back to Illinois for his senior year in 2022 and started the year as the enormous Big Ten meeting pioneer in passes guarded. He was named as one of 12 finalists for the Jim Thorpe Award, introduced to the country's top defensive backs. So in the 2023-2024 regular season statute that he has prior to week 4, he had 5 tackles, 2 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles, and 1 pass defended. Let me tell y'all about Devin Witherspoon. This is my team, and I've seen it firsthand what this boy can do. Now I'm gonna be real. This is probably the first NFL draft that I did not have much experience on anyone. Like once the draft passed C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, I was pretty much like out of it. I didn't know anyone else. I was just kind of just going with the flow with everyone. So of course I had to simultaneously do my research on who Devin Witherspoon is. Now I started watching the Seahawks around the 2012-13 era, so that's still Legion of Boom days. And watching Devin Witherspoon's highlights before him even putting on a Seahawks uniform in training camp just gives me immediate Legion of Boom vibes. Like I'm talking Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas vibes from back there at the safety position. But they got him playing DB, which is something we need help in. Tariq Woolen can't be the only guy back there. And we also lost DJ Reed this offseason to the New York Jets. So we needed another DB back there. And I think, with us getting Jamal Adams back, at least for one game, and us having Quandre Diggs, our safety spot is pretty secure. But, we got to have somebody to put back there when they are taking out 4 rest breaks. Which he's very versatile, so he could play both safety and DB. Wherever we want him in the secondary, he can play. And he will literally blitz the quarterback as a DB. Like, Devin Witherspoon, like, y'all can say I'm biased for saying this, whatever. The kid is special. The dude is special. I am extremely happy. I was so mad we passed up on Jalen Carter this draft because I thought that's what we really wanted. I mean, I really wanted it, especially, but like to most, he was regarded as the number 1 pick. The number 1 guy comes into this draft, and with his legal issues, that kind of brought his draft stock down to where he was able to fall to the Eagles. But man, I wish we had gotten him. But now with the way that Devin Witherspoon has been showing he can play at the next level, I am not regretful at all of us picking him with the 9th pick, I believe, the 5th. I'm sorry, the 5th pick. Yeah, man, I love Devin Witherspoon already. I think he's gonna be great, nothing but better. It sucks that Jamal Adams is down, but thankfully it is just a concussion, so that's not gonna keep him out too long. I mean, I've seen Anthony Richardson come back like the next week after a concussion, so hopefully he's back before mid-season, which is week 8. And we're on week 5 right now. We have our next game is against the Cincinnati Bengals next week. So there's a pretty good chance, possibility that he'll be out there again against the Bengals next week. And we're gonna need it because although we have a great defense with or without Jamal Adams, we need to pressure my boy Joe Burrow and I kind of attack that calf. Not wishing any injury on him, but it's a liability. We had to use it to our advantage. So it is what it is. But I think with the way that just Jamal plays, that just kind of sparked his injury because he plays super hard and he's a hard hitter, heavy hitter. So he was trying to lay a hit down on. I don't believe it was Daniel Jones, but he got no. I think it was Daniel Jones. Because he kind of got out for a scramble, and then Jamal was able to kind of chase him down and go get him. And his helmet just met Daniel Jones's knee, and that sparked his concussion. And you could see the expressed frustration that he expressed on the sideline when the concussion protocol operator said that he needed to be evaluated for a concussion, which is understandable. With him missing a calendar year of football and all of last season, you would expect him to have those high emotions. I was scared. Like I was literally watching the game and seeing a report earlier in the week of him saying that as he was battling 2 injuries back to back, missing like I said a calendar year of football, he had considered retirement, and I was like, oh goodness, for him to go back uh after a calendar year of having 2 injuries back to back, considering retirement with that, and now suffering a concussion, literally his first game back. I was just hoping and praying during that game, like, please don't retire. Do not retire because of this. You're gonna be back soon. It's just a concussion. It's not gonna keep you out that long. But yeah. So let's get to the nitty gritty of who I have actually winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. And that would be Houston Texans defensive end Will Anderson Jr. Will Anderson Jr. Played college football at Alabama, where he won a few honors like the Bronco Nagurski Trophy 2 times and was a piece of Alabama's national championship in 2020. His ability and commitment have acquired him acknowledgement as one of the top prospects going into the 2023 NFL Draft. Anderson's exhibition on the field is described by his speed, nimbleness, strength, and strategic mindfulness. His capacity to understand plays, expect developments, and apply tension in rival groups has made him an impressive power on protection. His insights and achievements represent themselves, exhibiting his effects as a defensive player. So, as far as the season is concerned, prior to week 4, Will Anderson has 9 total tackles, 6 solo tackles, and 3 assisted tackles with 1 sack and 1 stuff. So let's get in why I chose Will Anderson Jr. as my pick to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Obviously, I think looking at it as Week 5 is about to approach, you can make the case for it being cornerback from the New England Patriots, Christian Gonzalez, but I believe he just went down with a season-ending injury, which is going to just completely knock him out of the race for it. But the Houston Texans are surprising a lot of people this year. C.J. Stroud has come out the gate as one of the best quarterbacks in the league already. By the numbers, not just, but by the numbers, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league this season. But you have to remember, every sport that has defense to be a part of it, you got to play both sides of the ball. And that's what wins you not just meaningless simultaneous football games, but championships. And Will Anderson has been a catalyst of what that Texans defense has been able to portray this season to give C.J. Stroud more opportunities on the offensive side of the ball to do his thing at the quarterback spot. But, let's transition into the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Now, my first candidate, you're probably going to say, oh, you're not going to pick him to win the award. No, because you have to remember, it's only week 4. We're about to approach week 5, so we're still at a very early point. It's just the first quarter of the season, so we're at a very early point in the season still. Even though this guy has been he has been doing some things, but my first candidate is from the Atlanta Falcons, running back Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson played college football at Texas, where he won the Doak Walker Award and was a consistent All American in 2022 season, being chosen by the Falcons with the 8th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. He has been causing disturbances in the NFL with great exhibitions and a solid beginning to his freshman season or rookie year. And a new game against the Green Bay Packers, Bijan Robinson scrambled for 134 yards on 19 carries and got 4 passes for 48 extra yards. His exceptional exhibition has played him in conflict for the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. The Falcons are looking extraordinary so far this season, with Robinson driving the way. While the hotly debated issue in the NFL encompasses running backs' uh, self-esteem, there will be almost certainly about Robinson's worth right out of the entryway, as he gave them remaining a sound. Robinson is a 3-down choice when a remarkable mix of vision, contact, balance, and a capacity to make yards for himself. He's a better than expected pass catcher with the capacity to beat inclusion in space, and he can pile up scores in a rush when his play guest takes care of him and he gets into a mood. Just 6 running backs have won this award, tracing all the way back to 2003. That would be Cadillac Williams in 2004, Adrian Peterson in 2007, Eddie Lacy in 2013, Todd Gurley in 2015, and Alvin Kamara in 2017, and Saquon Barkley in 2018. At the point when the Falcons chosen Robinson with the 8th pick of the NFL draft, pundits and fans the same asked why, considering that Atlanta previously had 1,000-yard rusher Tyler Al- Algier in uniform. Sunday showed why Robinson and Algier consolidated for a sledge and sword assault that mistreated and cut up Green Bay's guard. They simply play off another one so well. Hostile tackle Jake Matthews set in a fulfilled Falcons storage space subsequently. Us 5 front and center, we invest heavily in attempting to open up something for those folks. It's tomfoolery watching them out there and out of nowhere run by you. Robinson is the more imaginative sprinter of the two, and Sunday denoted his initial 100-yard game as a star. He got done with 124 yards on 19 carries, essentially every one of them with tricky double dealing in plain view. He's simply an extremely accentual and exceptionally brilliant football player, Smith said. Um, we put too much going on, and however, we had a ton of conviction that he could also deal with what Coach Arthur Smith said when he confided about Robinson and Desmond Ridder, who joined the NFL experience. 8 games with Sunday on the line, and it all paid off. Bets like that will not necessarily, in all cases, be taken care of. Yet, every time they do, the Falcons will turn out to be a lesser extent to a tumultuous procession, and all the more a real postseason danger. Bijan Robinson is profoundly respected for his extraordinary abilities and traits as a football player. Robinson is a 3-down back who succeeds in different parts of the game, including surging, getting, and hindering, which is a demonstration of his flexibility. He has wonderful deftness, permitting him to explore through restricted spaces and avoid safeguards successfully. His vision on the field empowers him to recognize running paths and pursue fast choices. Notwithstanding his dexterity, Robinson likewise exhibits great power and equilibrium. He can run between the handles, break handles, and keep up with his strength in any event when confronted with contact. While not the quickest back in the draft, Robinson has sufficient speed to beat safeguards outwardly and make large plays. Robinson has exhibited phenomenal hands and the capacity to make gets like a wide collector. This makes him an important resource in the passing game. Known for serious areas of strength for him, ethically wise, Robson is committed to working on his abilities and adding to his group's prosperity. Robson has had achievement both in college and his rookie season with the Atlanta Falcons. He essentially affects the field, procuring acknowledgement as one of the top running backs in his draft class. It will be energizing to perceive how he proceeds to create and succeed in his expert profession. Bijan Robinson special, man. In the 2023-2024 regular season, he has prior to week 4, 29 carries, 180 rushing yards, 6 yards a carry, and receiving 10 receptions, 11 targets, 75 receiving yards with 7.5 yards of reception and one singular touchdown. When it pertains to Bijan Robinson, like I said, the kid is special. He's a back that can do both. You want him to run out the backfield, you can do that. You want him to space out and catch it, you can do that as well. You don't find that much in the NFL now. You really only find one or the other. The only person that can really equivalent to that, who does it at a more efficient and higher level than Bijan, would be Christian McCaffrey, of course. But it's Christian McCaffrey we're comparing. Christian McCaffrey, who's been in the league about 6-7 seasons, as opposed to Bijan Robinson, who's just about to be in his 5th game this season. So now I know y'all can be a kid and winning the award. Like I said, we're still really early into the season, so none of this is set in stone or stamped yet. This is just where we stand right now. This is just my personal opinion and my personal beliefs who's going to end up with the award by the end of the season. So next up in contention, another guy who is probably in most of you's eyes as a better option to pick to actually win the award as opposed to the guy who have actually winning it. But it is Houston Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud. Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud is headed towards perhaps one of the best beginning seasons in NFL history for a quarterback. He tossed for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns in Sunday's 37-17 surprise victory over the Jaguars, his most memorable NFL win. That game gave him 906 passing yards for 4 touchdowns and no interceptions after 3 games. He is the primarily quarterback in the NFL history to have something like 900 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and no sacks in his initial 3 professions in the NFL. His 906 yards are the 3rd most through 3 games, behind just Cam Newton with 1,012 and Justin Herbert with 131. Sunday Stroud demonstrated readiness in the pocket, made the right pre-use more than once, kept away from pressure, and showed pinpoint exactness. He completed 20 for 30 for 280 yards with 2 touchdowns and wasn't sacked subsequent to requiring 11 the initial 14 days. The rookie sparkled against pressure, finishing 8 of 12 passes for 115 yards and a touchdown for 125.3 passer rating versus pressure. Stroud consumed the barrage by dropping a really 68-yard bomb to Tank Dell for the game-winning touchdown. Everything begins with the quarterback head coach D'Amico Ryans reiterated, we have a decent one who's truly done beneficial things. He's superior consistently. That is the very thing I truly like and appreciate about CJ. He's focused to working on himself each week. He's been a pioneer for us for the hostile unit, and it's great to see a young fellow go out there and keep on getting better every week and lead that gathering. Through 3 weeks, Stroud has shown marvelous improvement in the capacity to work regardless of not great obstruction and close to no run help. The key for the youngster is the means by which he answers as guards get more tape on his propensities and begin removing things. CJ Stroud, a capable quarterback, has been perceived for his outstanding abilities and accomplishments. Here are a few justifications for why he is viewed as an incredible quarterback. CJ Stroud left a mark on the world as the principal quarterback in NFL history to pass for something like 900 yards with 4 passing touchdowns and no interceptions over his most memorable vocation begins. Stroud's exactness and thinking skills have been profoundly adulated. He has shown momentous precision and thinking abilities, making him a great possibility. Stroud has a huge arm, which he exhibited during the NFL Combine. His arm strength is viewed as one of his most prominent assets as a possibility as a double cross Heisman Trophy finalist. Stroud holds the record for the most passing scores in a 2 year range in Big Ten history with 85. He assumed a huge part in Ohio State's prosperity, driving the FBS in focuses per game with 45 and a yard and yards per game with 526 over the beyond 2 seasons. These variables add to CJ Stroud's standing as an extraordinary quarterback. His abilities, accomplishments, and potential make him an astonishing player to watch. So, as far as the 2023-2024 season has been concerned, prior to week 4, he has a 65 completion percentage with 906 passing yards, 7.5 yards, uh, a completion, 4 touchdowns, 11 times sacked, and a 98 passer rating along with a 50 QBR. And rushing, he has 19 carries for 36 yards with about 3.5 yards a carry, with only one fumble to go along with it. CJ Stroud looks good. Obviously, now, approaching week 5, there was a huge speculation, not just, now, but I think it's kind of settled for now, at least until we see better play from Bryce Young. But it was a very ongoing conversation of who's the better quarterback, who is the better option to bring in as your franchise quarterback for the future if you're an NFL franchise picking with the first overall pick if you're the Carolina Panthers. And well, up until this point, the answer would be CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's already been making history with his numbers that he's been putting up in these first 4 weeks of play. And as of right now, statistically wise, by the numbers, is a top 10 quarterback in the league. Something that Bryce Young has been not able to reciprocate, replicate, or whatever word you want to put, to modify that. He hasn't been on the same level of play as CJ Stroud. But we know that Bryce has been already somewhat of unhealthy throughout the season, so that also plays a factor in his play on the field. Although, even with me saying that, I still firmly believe that by the end of the season, Bryce Young will get it together, and that's why I have him as the winner of the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Carolina Panthers quarterback Bryce Young, the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, is known for his strong arm, quick release, good accuracy, mobility, and knack for making big plays, even on the move. He excels at cutting defenses apart, subsequently to manipulating the pocket and keeping plays alive like a point guard on a dribble drive. He moves defenders with his eyes and feet, patiently waiting and anticipating. His leadership, anticipation, touch, knowledge of the offense, and ability to move the chains with his feet, make him a franchise quarterback in the making. Now, as far as Bryce Young is concerned, going into week 5, he has a completion percentage of 59% with about 300 passing yards, 4 yards, a completion with 2 touchdowns and also 2 interceptions. Been sacked 6 times with a 67 passer rating, 35 QBR. Rushing, he has 5 carries for 51 yards, 10 yards, not reception, completion, along with 1 fumble. This is my thing. I think simply because I just think Bryce Young needs to, also need to stay on the field, but when on the field, get used to his offense. For sure, have training camp in the offseason, but I think just on paper, it's safe to say that the Carolina Panthers have constructed a better offense around Bryce Young than the Houston Texans have constructed around CJ Stroud. Even though, while saying that, even with an on paper lesser offense than Bryce Young, CJ Stroud has been able to put up monstrous historical numbers still. You look at who Bryce Young has around him, Hayden Hurst. Now I'm drawing blanks. Miles Sanders, Terrace Marshall. He has, I would say, I can't think of many names now, which is kind of bad. But if you look at the Texans, you think about Robert Woods and then Tank Dell and then what? Nothing else, right? So y'all get where I'm going with that. I still think once Bryce is able to overcome this injury that he's got, I think he's okay now. But if not, he should be back in probably like 1 or 2 weeks. I don't think it's that serious of an injury. He'll be able to surpass CJ and, make it clear to the world that he is definitely worth the #1 pick selection by the Carolina Panthers. They shouldn't regret taking him with that selection, and will ultimately at the end of the year be winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Next, I'd like to transition into the Comeback Player of the Year award. Now, this could go for a million of players in the NFL, just simply because you, for some reason, are missing significant time last year, and you just have something to come back from within the next year, and you prove it. That alone solidifies you as a contender for the Comeback Player of the Year award. But with my first candidate, now you have to really hear me out on this one because I think, I did think about, with me taking so long to prepare this episode, about changing it, but I was like, no, I'm going to go with my first heart. And, how they take it is how they take it. But my first candidate from the Baltimore Ravens, I have wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. Beckham's talent and dedication have helped him excel in the sport. He has demonstrated remarkable speed, agility, and catching ability, making him a formidable threat to opposing defenses. His ability to make acrobatic catches, such as his famous one-handed touchdown catch against the Dallas Cowboys, has earned him recognition as one of the most exciting players in the NFL. Throughout his career, Beckham has broken numerous records and received several accolades. In his rookie season with the New York Giants, he set multiple NFL rookie receiving records despite missing the first 4 games due to an injury. He became the fastest NFL player in history to reach both 200 career receptions and 4,000 receiving yards. Beckham has been named to the Pro Bowl multiple times and has been recognized as a second-team All-Pro twice. Off the field, Beckham's leadership qualities have also been acknowledged. Despite facing challenges early in his career, he has emerged as a key voice and leader for the Baltimore Ravens' talented young receiving corps. It is important to note that Beckham's greatness as a wide receiver is not solely attributed to his individual skills, but also to his ability to work well within a team dynamic. His positive impact on the locker room and his willingness to mentor younger players have contributed to his reputation as a great wide receiver. For more detailed information about Odell Beckham Jr.'s career statistics and achievements, you can look at those for yourself. So last season, I was the comeback player of the year. What I'm going to be comparing last year's stats to where their stats currently stand. So last year's stats for Odell Beckham Jr. He had 27 receptions with on 48 targets, going for 305 receiving yards within 11 yards average per reception and 5 touchdowns. As far as the 2023-2024 season stats are concerned, prior to week 4, which he was currently injured, and I believe still currently injured, he has 5 receptions for 7 targets, 66 receiving yards, 13 yards of reception, and currently no touchdowns, of course. So you're putting Odell alongside um Lamar Jackson, uh, former NFL MVP. Of course, you expect it to be better because obviously the one thing that Lamar Jackson has dealt with is not being dealt a top tier receiver in the league. He had Hollywood Brown, but that's probably the best receiver that he's had since he was drafted to the Ravens. Now you give him Odell, you got Rashad Bateman, you draft Zay Flowers, you still got Mark Andrews over there. So this is by far, on paper and with a few games into the season now, the best offense built around Lamar Jackson since being drafted by the Ravens, which is pretty lackluster to say the least because of him also winning a MVP and making it to the playoffs on multiple occasions with lackluster offensive cores around him. But Odell's currently hurt, but I think him and Zay Flowers will be in the contention of who's going to be Lamar's favorite target or wide receiver one per se. I think Rashad Bateman is. I think he's going to be 3. Regardless of how the cards fall and how the tables turn. But yeah, I have Odell as my first candidate. Actually, I thought I didn't change my who I have winning it, but I actually did. But this is my reason why. So I'm explaining to y'all who I have. Initially, my pick was quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, but I realized that with him now being injured, he's not going to have that many games to kind of prove himself. And I think unless he has like a record-breaking season within those games that he does play, that pretty much knocks him out of the contention for comeback player of the year. At least to actually win it. Maybe to be in contention, but to actually win it, I think that knocks him out. But even though it's considered, Kyler Murray is considered a great quarterback due to his exceptional skills and performance on the field. He has shown a lot of promise and potential during his time in the NFL. However, it's important to note that opinions on what makes a great quarterback can vary amongst different people. Some factors that contribute to Kyler Murray's success includes his athleticism, arm strength, accuracy, decision-making ability, and leadership qualities. His ability to make plays with both arms and legs has made him a dynamic and exciting player to watch. Additionally, his dedication to improving his skills and work ethic have also played a significant role in his success. It's worth mentioning that Kyler Murray is currently recovering from an injury. So, Odell's currently injured. Kyler Murray's currently injured. But I thought they were, a guy I am kind of mad at admission was Deshaun Watson because he played like 6 games last season. I think that he's gonna, obviously with what they've been playing so far, gonna have a even better season this season. Um, but only can go with 3 candidates, so that's just how it ended up being. But yeah, Kyler Murray, his situation in Arizona is very tricky to me. I don't know what's gonna happen. Um, but Kyler Murray's a great quarterback to consider whether he's in Arizona. Um, New York, New Mexico, wherever, he's going to still be calibrating a great quarterback. So, but as far as his stats contained, um, last season he had a completion percentage of 66%, 2,368 passing yards, 6 yards a completion with 14 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, while being sacked 25 times. He had a 87 passer rating and a 55 QBR. Rushing wise, he had 67 carries for 418 rushing yards with 6 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 6 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns, and 6 fumbles. Now, this is what I have winning the award. My personal favorite quarterback of all time from the Denver Broncos, quarterback Russell Wilson. Hear me out. Hear me out. Like I said, the guys I mentioned before, as of right now, are both currently injured. Russ is not. Russ has played every game thus far this season. So you bring in now Sean Payton around him. As you saw what he did with Pete Carroll. Now you bring another Hall of Fame coach to coach him in Denver. Obviously we've seen that when Russ, got the money and got a different position on the football team, his play kind of diminished to a very drastic extent. But I mean, I think Russ is gonna be way better this season. Obviously, now that's not the case. Only thing that he can kind of vouch for is him coming back from a 7-28 deficit against the Chicago Bears, and getting a 3-point victory there. But I don't know. I think last year they went 5-11. So all things considered, when you consider that, I don't see a potential world where they get 7 or 8 wins this season. Maybe, maybe not. I went over the schedule earlier when I went over Sean Payton as the coach of the year, but I don't think they might crack 7 wins. I don't see them getting higher than that. Right now they're currently sitting at, I think, 1-3. So we'll see what happens. But last season Russ had a let me get into this. Russell Wilson is considered as a great quarterback by many people. He has demonstrated exceptional skills and has achieved significant success throughout his career. However, opinions on what makes a quarterback great can vary amongst different individuals. Some factors that contribute to Russell Wilson's greatness include his leadership qualities, decision-making ability, arm strength, accuracy, and athleticism. His ability to make plays with both arms and legs has made him a dynamic and exciting player to watch. It's worth noting that there are also different opinions on whether Russell Wilson is an all-time great quarterback or not, but in my opinion, he is. And I expect him to be Hall of Famer. You gotta remember, Russ is not, even though with what I've been hearing a lot of bad things about Russ lately. After the interview came out on Club Shay Shay with, our former great running back and future Hall of Famer Marshawn Lynch. We got on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp and said some things about Russ. Which could be true. We've seen a different version of Russ as he got to Denver, not just with his play, but his demeanor and personality and character as a whole. But all things considered, right or wrong, I still love Russ, so it is what it is. But last season he had a stature of 61 completion percentage with 3,524 passing yards, with about 7 yards a completion, 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and 55 times being sacked, with an 84 passer rating and 39 QBR. Rushing wise, he had 55 carries for 277 rushing yards, with 5 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns, and 2 fumbles. Now, this season prior to week 4, he has a completion percentage of 65% with 791 passing yards, 8 yards a completion, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and only 10 times being sacked with 100 passer rating and 59 QBR. And rushing, he has 7 carries for 57 rushing yards with 8 yards a carry, with 0 touchdowns and also fumbles. So as we transition to the next award, we're going to get into my predictions for the Offensive Player of the Year award, starting off firstly with running back from the San Francisco 49ers, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is widely regarded as one of the best running backs in the NFL. His exceptional skills and performance has earned him this apparent reputation. In the 2019 season, he's rushed for 1,387 yards, which was the third highest total in the NFL. He also caught 116 passes for 1,005 yards, making him the only running back to break the 1,000-yard receiving mark that year. His versatility and ability to contribute both as a runner and a receiver set him apart from other players in his position. McCaffrey's exceptional performance can be attributed to various factors such as speed, mobility, vision, and football IQ. He has consistently demonstrated his ability to make explosive plays and create scoring opportunities for his team. His dedication to training and maintaining peak physical condition has also played a significant role in his success. In summary, Christian McCaffrey's greatness as a running back stem from his exceptional skills, versatility, and consistent performances on the field. He has proven himself to be an invaluable asset to the Carolina Panthers and one of the most talented players in the NFL. So prior to week 4, Christian McCaffrey has 60 carries this season for 353 rushing yards with 6 yards a carry, 3 rushing touchdowns. Receiving, he has 11 receptions for 13 targets with 70 receiving yards and 6 yards a reception with only 1 fumble, which is pretty surprising to me. I didn't think Christian McCaffrey could fumble, but somebody has already made a fumble this season, which means he definitely can fumble. I don't have to really, dive deep into why Christian McCaffrey is in contention for this award. To put it plain and simple, he's Christian McCaffrey. It's pretty much that simple. I don't think anybody who I have on this list is pretty. It's self-explanatory for who they are. Obviously, he's a vital, really the main part of the 49ers' offense with Kyle Shanahan, who loves to run the ball. And just a great play caller. Like, he's legit the best play caller in the NFL. You know, being able to take the pressure and the weight off the shoulders of quarterback Brock Purdy, who's only in his second season now. Still on to a great start with his ongoing career. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, just a great overall team. So now we're going to get into the second candidate here. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is also widely regarded as one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. His exceptional skills and performance have earned him, this stature. Hill possesses game-breaking speed, excellent hands, and run crisp routes. He creates separation from defenders in a way that is unsurpassed by anyone else in the sport. His ability to adjust to anything thrown his way, even when asked to outleap defenders, is among the league's best. Hill has consistently showcased his talent and has had numerous outstanding performances. For instance, in a game against the Philadelphia Eagles, he caught 11 passes for 186 yards and 3 touchdowns. In another game against the Cleveland Browns, he caught 197 yards and a touchdown, helping the Kansas City Chiefs to make a comeback. Hill's current season statistics are impressive as well, with 453 yards through the first 4 weeks of the NFL season, averaging a little over 113 yards a game. If he continues at this pace, he is on track to finish with over 1,920 yards, which would make him the second best single receiving performance in NFL history. He would own that. It's important to note that Hill's success is not solely attributed to his speed or having Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback. Well, as his then quarterback. Now it's Tua Tagovailoa. He is consistently outplayed cornerbacks and won numerous one-on-one battles since his rookie year. Hill's level of play I think goes unnoticed to the sharing on the field with other talented players like Jalen Waddle, um, Tua, Devin Akane, um, Raheem Mostert, now Chase Claypool, Robbie Anderson, or Chosen Anderson, whatever he wants to be called. Um, Despite this, Tyreek Hill has broken franchise records and remains in the conversation for being one of the top receivers in the NFL. In summary, Tyreek Hill's greatness as a wide receiver can be attributed to his exceptional speed, route running ability, hands, and consistent performances on the field. He has proven himself to be an invaluable asset to the Miami Dolphins and one of the more talented receivers in all of the NFL. Also, another player I don't have to really get into why he's here, Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest uh, NFL receivers in the league right now. One of the best in the league right now. Top 5 in the league right now. Top 3, however you want to stack it up. He's been able to prove that whatever quarterback you put him with, he's going to make numbers. A lot of people question whether he would be able to put up the same production without Patrick Mahomes. You put him with Tua, and he's doing the exact same stuff. Um, so, well, yeah. This season, he has a stature of 25 receptions for 35 targets, 412 receiving yards with 17 yards of reception and 4 touchdowns to go along with it. Now, with who I have actually winning the award. Now, I think pretty much to this point, all of my picks have been not typical, but that's what I'm known for. These wild picks that I just have to live or die with, and I always will. From the Cincinnati Bengals, wide receiver Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase is considered one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He possesses a combination of size, speed, physicality, and route running skills and reliable hands. His ability to line up on the outside and attack all 2 levels of the field makes him a versatile threat. Chase's exceptional performance in his rookie season is a testament to his talent. He accumulated the 4th most receiving yards with 1,455 and scored 13 touchdowns. Last season, of course. Chase's rankings of top wide receivers in the NFL indicate his respect for other players in his position. He ranked Davante Adams as the best wide receiver in the league, followed by Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, and Justin Jefferson. It's worth noting that Chase did not include himself in his top 5 rankings, which demonstrates his modesty. According to analysts, Chase's athleticism and natural receiving ability make him a rare prospect. He has been described as a gifted talent and gifted athlete who dominated at the college level and is projected to be at a number 1 wideout at the professional level. His elusiveness, route running skills, and ability to make plays from anywhere on the field have contributed to his success. In summary, Ja'Marr Chase's greatness as a wide receiver can be attributed to his exceptional physical attributes, route running skills, reliable hands, and consistent performance on the field. He has proven himself to be an invaluable asset to the Cincinnati Bengals and is one of the most talented players in the NFL. So I'm pretty much breaking on this hand in hand. I got Joe Burrow winning the MVP. I got Ja'Marr winning the Offensive Player of the Year. Obviously we saw that Justin Jefferson got the award last year, so Ja'Marr could, do it this year. And I think he has a good shot at it. Obviously, he's a little disgruntled at the moment because he's not getting as many touches as he would like. Because as he said, last week after the Bengals' lost to the Buffalo Bills, I believe, Um, he said, "I'm open, and I'm always effing open." Um, so yeah, it's a tough thing. He's also very considerate of his quarterback. He didn't even want Joe Burrow to come back until like week 5, which is this upcoming week. But they have us next, so which is smart because you know that that's their bye week. Um, and so with that being said, Joe Burrow got to get him the ball more. That's his wide receiver one. But he definitely knows and is reaping the benefits of Joe Burrow playing through a current calf injury. So I still think there's hope for them to get it together. And at the end of the season, Jamar Chase could still end up having a Offensive Player of the Year like year. For some reason, I did not put his stats on this part of the list. So let me retrieve those before I move into the Defensive Player of the Year award. So going into week 5, Jamar Chase has 29 receptions for 41 on 41 targets with about 284 yards, 10 yards, a reception, and no touchdowns to account for it. So yeah. Now let's dive into the Defensive Player of the Year award. This is also a very tight knit race with the 3 guys I have here, because all of them can make a very valuable case for why they should be the Defensive Player of the Year. But starting off, I have who described by his bigger brother, older brother, J.J. Watt, as the best defensive player in all of football. From the Pittsburgh Steelers, linebacker T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt is a highly skilled linebacker who has been recognized for his exceptional performance on the field. He has won several awards, including the NFL Defensive Player of the Year award in 2021. He has also been named to the Pro Bowl 5 times and has been selected as a first team All Pro 3 times. Watt's success can be attributed to his impressive skill set, which includes his quick hands, strength, and quickness. He is also known for his ability to read the game and make quick decisions on the field. So this season, TJ Watt is having a stat line that currently consists of 13 total tackles, 10 of those being solo tackles and 3 of those being scissor tackles, with 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 passes defended, and 2.5 stuffs. Pretty much for the rest of this list, or the rest of this episode, I want to dig in too deep because I'm, giving people who I think are self-explanatory options and candidates for these awards. I don't know about TJ Watt. I mean, TJ Watt was a, Defensive Player of the Year in 2021 and is, still not taking a backseat to that award. Defensive prowess that he's able to possess because he's still doing what TJ Watt does. The Steelers' success has been very lackluster this year, but that didn't totally on him because he's given them pretty much all he has in the shows. So let's go ahead and transition to the second candidate who I have. Basically, up until who I have winning the award, I have the 2 former Defensive Player of the Year award winners. With me saying that, now this is going to be from the San Francisco 49ers defensive end. Last year's 2022 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa has been a standout player since his rookie year. He was named NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2019 and helped his team, being the San Francisco 49ers, reach Super Bowl LIV. In 2022, he won the Defensive Player Year of the what? He won the NFL Defensive Player of the Year award. He has also been named to the Pro Bowl 3 times, 2019, 2021, and 2022, and was a first-team All-Pro in 2022. Bosa's success can be attributed to his exceptional skills as a defensive end. He has a rare combination of speed, strength, and agility that allows him to get past offensive linemen and make plays in the backfield. Bosa is also known for his excellent technique and ability to read plays quickly, which helps him anticipate where the ball is going and make tackles. In addition to his physical abilities, Bosa is also a hard worker who is dedicated to improving his game. He spends countless hours studying film and working on his technique to stay ahead of his opponents. Overall, Nick Bosa's success as a defensive end can be attributed to his exceptional physical abilities, technique, and work ethic. His talent has earned him numerous accolades and made him one of the best players in the NFL today. So this year, prior to Week 5, Nick Bosa has a stat line of 8 tackles, with 5 of those being solo tackles and 3 assisted tackles, 1 sack, and 1.5 stuffs. I mean, nothing more to say here. Last year's winner could repeat, but I think this guy right here is going to give him, or it's going to stop him from making that repeat a possibility. Now, this is probably going to be the first and probably the only award that you're going to agree with me on as far as somebody actually winning it. And with me saying that, the person I have winning this award from the Dallas Cowboys, linebacker Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons played college football at Penn State, where he was named a consensus All-American, the Butkus Fitzgerald Linebacker of the Year, and Cotton Bowl Defensive MVP as a sophomore in 2019. But before we escalate with me now saying that, rest in peace, Dick Butkus. I heard that he recently passed, either yesterday or this morning. Bears legend and Hall of Famer, and regarded as one of the best linebackers of all time. Certainly the best middle linebacker from the Bears, but that all-time stature is also a part of his name as well. But moving forward, he was selected by the Cowboys in the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft. Parsons has been named in the news recently as his impressive performances continue to stack up on the field. In his rookie season, he was named the NFL's Defensive Rookie of the Year. As of Week 4 of the 2024 NFL season, he has recorded 163 tackles, 30.5 sacks, 7 pass deflections, 7 forced fumbles, and 1 touchdown. I read that earlier and I thought that was this season, but that means his career stats in totality, not totality of this season, but all of his career tenure. He has also been named to the Pro Bowl twice and has been selected as a first-team All-Pro twice. Parsons' success can be attributed to his athleticism, versatility, and work ethic. He is known for his speed, agility, and ability to read plays quickly. He is also a hard worker who is consistently looking to improve his game. His dedication to his craft has helped him become one of the best linebackers in the league. This year, his stat line consists of 14 tackles, 9 of those being solo tackles, and 5 of those being assisted tackles, with 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 pass defended, along with 5 stuffs. I think Micah Parsons is simultaneously saving the Dallas Cowboys and still giving them a name to withhold as them being America's favorite team. So they say. Now down to the last award, the final award of the episode. The most, what's the word I can use? Hyped up, I guess you would want to say. Award that we all are waiting to see what happens with it. You can basically call it the quarterback award, because that's basically what it always ends up boiling down to. Around time for the award to be presented to someone. But we're going to talk about the MVP. So my first candidate is last year's winner, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has been in the news recently for his impressive performance on the field. In his first 5 seasons, he has already won 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 NFL MVP awards, and 1 NFL Offensive Player of the Year award. As of Week 4 of the 2023 NFL season, throughout the course of his career, he has recorded 200 touchdowns, 53 interceptions, 25,247 passing yards, and a 105 passer rating. Mahomes' success can be attributed to his athleticism, versatility, and work ethic. He is known for his speed, agility, and ability to read plays quickly. He is also a hard worker who is constantly looking to improve his game. His dedication to his craft has helped him become one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Mahomes is also known for his creativity on the field. He has made throws that no one else in the league dared to make, from no look passes to throwing with his uh, non dominant hand. There does not appear to be a pass that the young quarterback won't attempt. His imagination is on display on nearly every Chiefs drive in a multitude of different ways. One drive we might see Mahomes throw the ball where the route was never taking his receiver, but rather to a wide open area of the field the defense cannot get to. The very next drive, we may see him throw a bullet pass between four defenders into the arms of the receiver. But it's not just about his imagination that functions with where the ball goes. It's the way that Mahomes uses his feet in the pocket that shows how remarkable his intellect and creativity is. He makes all sorts of absurd plays by using his feet and body in the pocket in ways other quarterbacks cannot. So I think I'm not going to dive into any of these guys deeply. I'm just going to say what I got and then move on and kind of get y'all up out of here because I think they're all viable options with just who they are, and y'all know who they are. So prior to week 5, Patrick Mahomes has a completion percentage of 64% with 1,006 passing yards, 7 yards of completion, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 2 times being sacked, 92 passer rating with a 72 QBR, and rushing. He has 23 carries with 150 rushing yards, 1 fumble, and 7 yards a carry. Next is the guy I actually thought was supposed to, who I had picked to win the MVP award, quarterback from the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts' success has been a contribution of his mixture of athleticism, versatility, and a work ethic. He is known for his speed, agility, and ability to read plays quickly. He is also a hard worker who is constantly looking to improve his game. His dedication to his craft has helped him become one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Hurts is also known for his creativity on the field. He makes throws that no one else in the league dare to make, from no-look passes to throwing with the wrong hand. There does not appear to be a pass that he also can't make like Patrick Mahomes. His imagination on the field is just on display on nearly every Eagles drive in a multitude of different ways. One drive, well, let me not say that. Basically, I put down the same thing to describe Hurts as I did Patrick Mahomes because Jalen Hurts is that guy. But this season he has a regular season stat line of 60 completion percentage, 959 passing yards with 7 yards a completion, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, with 11 times being sacked, 92 passer rating, 53 QBR, and a rushing stature of 40 carries, 134 rushing yards with 3 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns, and 1 fumble. Now with the guy I have winning the award, I have Mr. Joe Burrow, quarterback from the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow's success can be attributed to his athleticism, versatility, and work ethic. He is known for his timing and rhythm passing, getting the ball out within the framework of the play. He is also a hard worker who is constantly looking to improve his game. His dedication to his craft has helped him become one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Burrow has also been praised for his nearly flawless mechanics, including his footwork on drops, arm angles on throws, and throwing delivery. His creativity on the field is also noteworthy. He makes throws that other quarterbacks would not dare make, from no-look passes to throwing with the wrong hand. His imagination is on display on nearly every Bengals drive in multiple different ways. One drive we might see Burrow throw the ball. Well, that's basically the same thing too. But anyway, just that is kind of how it is. Joe Burrow had a stat line now of a 50 completion percentage with 728 passing yards, 5 yards of completion, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 8 times sack, a 69 passer rating, and 34 QBR with a rushing stat line of 8 carries for 3 rushing yards. All right, y'all. That is it for episode. What are we on now? 17. I intended to put out 4 or 5 episodes today, but considering the time now and the time it's going to take to get this episode out, that probably won't happen. But I will moderately get those episodes out, episodes 18, 19, and 20 out to y'all throughout the course of next week. So, with that being said, y'all continue to have a great Friday. It's all love. I appreciate y'all for the support. And always remember, don't underestimate, appreciate. And without further ado, I'm gone.